What is up, everybody? I'm the Fantabulous Rat, and welcome back to my channel. So, like, a friend and I released a song called Dreamland. It is now out, and I will leave the link in the description box below. But it's called Dreamland, and I decided while I was, like, listening to it and people were talking to me about it, like, asking me questions, I thought that I would just talk about it while doing my makeup. So, let's get started. Now that my hair is put up and there's a clip to, get all of the strays put up, let's get started. So I'm gonna start off with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So me and my friend had been wanting to write a song since, like, it's been like 5 years. I'm talking about how I'm wanting to release music, like I have all these lyrics and stuff like that. And one of my friends was saying, oh yeah, I love your voice and everything like that, we could totally work together. And then, like, but every single time, like, I brought up something, he was just like, no, it wouldn't sound good because, like, neither of us know what we're doing. And then I'm like, well, that's the fun in it, whatever. And it's just ridiculous. So here I am, like, frustrated, right? Because, like, every single time someone's like, let's write a song, like, nothing happens. And so he's like, well, let's write a song. And I'm like, okay. And originally we were going to, I just dropped something off my table. That's lovely. Originally we were supposed to write a song about, like, memories or whatever, because we were bringing up all these funny memories of us when we were kids, like how I got him in trouble in, like, the 7th grade because he did the pen 15 thing. And except, like, he wasn't even a part of it, it was his friend, and, like, he just laughed and then he got in trouble and stuff like that, and just other fun memories that we had. And originally the song was going to be nostalgic, like, gonna talk about, like, memories and like how we kind of, like, reminisce about them, and sometimes we wish things were, like, as simple as they were back then. We were like, okay, let's do this. And so he was talking to me about tapes and, like, recordings, like, he's already done, right? He's already made some backtracks, like, stuff that's pretty much done, and we were going through them and we liked the one that we picked now. Like, that one was the one that was completely done and it had the feel to it that we really wanted. So he's just like, well, just write some lyrics out. So here I am writing lyrics. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation in the shade 11NN, so that, if you're just wondering what shade I use. For the life of me, I could not come up with anything, and he would be like, how's it going? And I was like, oh yeah, perfect, I'm almost done. I just, stuff like, and I would just, like, just tell a lie, because I was just, like, embarrassed, because, like, anybody who knows me knows that I can come up with stuff really easily. Like, give me a topic about, like, trees or whatever, and I'll just write something stupid. Or I can come up with lyrics on the fly while somebody's just strumming a guitar. I also didn't know what part he wanted, and then I just kind of figured, like, because, like, we didn't really go about it in a professional way. He was just kind of like, you write something and then I'll write something around it. So I was like, okay, this is kind of, like, frustrating, because, like, I kind of want to know, like, come up with stuff together. I've been going through a breakup. It's been, like, 8 weeks since he broke up with me, and you're like, you're counting? And I'm like, kinda. So I had a boyfriend for about a month and a half, and I fell hardcore for this boy. I don't even know why, because he was going to be leaving, and we were like, oh, this will just be for fun, but I ended up falling really, like, hard for this boy, and it just kind of, like, sucked because he didn't feel the same way, and he ended up breaking things off just out of the blue. We were supposed to stay together and break up in, like, the end of April, because he was supposed to be moving to his school. Like, he was going to be moving to Florida to start school in May, and then he ended up breaking up with me on March 13th. And the reason why I know that is because it's my stepmom's birthday, and we officially broke up then. And then 2 days later I got put in quarantine. So for the first couple days of quarantine, I was, like, a mess, okay, like, because I just stayed in my room and slept and cried and slept and cried and occasionally ate, and it's just ridiculous, okay? It's just ridiculous and how much I cried over this boy. When I'm using the NYX Wonder Stick highlight and contour stick in light medium, the highlight, the light part is like my skin tone, maybe a little bit darker. So it's like, I can't use that side, but I can use this side. This is actually a good, my face is itchy. This is actually pretty good. I'm learning how to contour, don't make fun of me, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Rip, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I look like a complete retard. And so I cried over this boy. And I had been having dreams about him. It was the same dream. So basically the dream was I was in a different, like I traveled to a different reality, right? One where he had no idea who I was. And I would go up to him. I would find him. The first dream he was in like a Letterman jacket that I'd seen him wear before. And then like I saw him, like, and I came up to him and started talking to him and be like, hey, like, what's going on and stuff like that. And then we'd always end up getting to the subject where like I knew who he was. We had dated in a different universe. And like I knew all these things about him, and the reason why I had came to him to like in the universe, like, or to this ultimate reality, is because I missed him and I wanted him to love me again. And I would wake up and would miss him so much. Like, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I should be over him by now. This has been like 6 weeks. And I was having this dream, and it was making it so I would like stay up all night because I did not want to sleep, because I did not want to dream of him. Because it was haunting. And then, so I was like, I started writing. I was like, Dreamland is the only way I could see you. So I was just like, I started writing, like, that was it. So I asked, I was like, hey, does it matter what the song is about? And he's like, no, like, go for it, whatever, do whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I start writing about, like, I wrote the lyrics off to Dreamland, where our dreams collide, because that's where I would go. I would go to, like, sleep and go into the dream world, and that's when we would see each other, like, where our worlds, like, you know, we collide off to Dreamland, where our dreams collide. And then the second part was like, I hated waking up because like it hurt to remember when I woke up, like, that he was no longer mine. Like, the reality of him being like gone and no longer in my life anymore. And so that's where like the main chorus came in, and it was just like really frustrating, you know, because like I loved this boy so much, and like, you know, he could care less about me. Oh, by the way, I used my blush in, my e.l.f. blush in Always Rosy, and used my Morphe brush M105 to do that. And now I'm going in with my Carity palette, and I'm going to go off with Luxuria, and I'm just gonna like do that as a base. And he's like, well, do you have a mic? And I'm like, yeah, like I have this like Blue Yeti microphone that my grandmother got me for Christmas. And he was like, okay, I need your vocals. And I was like, okay. He was like, he called me to remind me, because like I have like the worst memory. Also, I've been like sleeping in, like ask my family, I've just been sleeping in, like there's like no tomorrow, like like life, what is her? Like, we don't need her. And my eyeshadow is not looking the way I wanted to. Oh, I used a Phantom in this palette, by the way, and I eventually recorded, and he was like, okay, now I'm gonna record. So originally the second verse wasn't in the like my verse, not the chorus, but my actual verse wasn't actually in Dreamland. But there was a part that was like only a couple bars, and we were like, he was like, it feels empty. I'm like, yeah. And so he was like, well, like, I don't know what to do there. And I was like, well, I did have something there, but it didn't sound right. And he was just like, just put something in there, just, you know. And he's like, I can make it longer for you if you want. So he extended it from like a couple bars to like, I don't remember how many bars it was. And I was like, okay. And dropped my brush. Don't do that. It's very bad for your brushes. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I just gotta come up with something on the fly. So I wrote in like 5 minutes. I was just like going into the fact that like, I couldn't stop thinking about him. I couldn't stop thinking about my ex. And cause like, he's, you know, he has a whole, you know, like, and he will always be a part of me. Like, and that's how I am with like people who I fall in love with, you know, like deeply as I fell in love with him. Right. Like I have a few other exes and like people who like, and I have somebody who wasn't even like an ex, and he also has like a place like in my heart, you know, forever. And it's just how I work. But so I started writing about the fact that like dreams were the only place that I could see him, and like, and he's all I think about. And then I started writing about how like he was gone because like he's not really in my life anymore. He doesn't really want to be, which whatever. Like, I wrote about how he was gone and it was over now. But I still thought about him, you know? And so we put it together, and yeah, so that was basically what Dreamland is about. We needed cover art. So like I contacted another friend. There goes Cloud. And I was like, hey, and I made it a concept idea. And then he made something, and I was like, okay. And I will put his art on my Instagram, and tag him, because he's a friend of mine. And I was like, but it wasn't really exactly what we had in mind. And my friend, before I could even like show him the idea, he was just like, well, I came up with something. And I'm like, okay. And it was just like words, like it was just the title, like it's basically what you see when you look at the song and listen to it. So yeah, he came up with that idea, and I was like, okay, that works. And he added my name. We found it like a font for my name, which was like really basic. I think it was like Comic Sans. And then we italicized it, and we were like, okay, that works. So we're gonna release this. All done. Now I did like a cloud, little stars. And I did a little like black lipstick to kind of be like the darkness. But overall, I do hope that you guys enjoyed the song. It is a little piece of me. Every song that I work with, even though it's like not mine entirely, it still has a part of me in it. I will leave the link in the description box below if you want to go listen to it. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play, and this place called Deezer. It's not on YouTube yet, but I'll get that started, and I love you guys so much. I hope that you guys like my look today, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to me if you like my content and want more, and ring the little bell when you want notifications for when I do upload. And if you haven't already, follow me on social media. The links to all of that will be in the description box below. Don't be afraid to say hi, and I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye!